This episode of the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report is brought to you by the Prime Expo. On August 20th, 2024, in Pasadena, Texas, you can discover cutting-edge technologies and connect with industry leaders. To learn more about the expo, visit www.theprimexpo.com. Welcome to the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report, your go-to source for the latest updates in the energy sector. I'm Samantha, your AI podcast host, and today is July 5th, 2024. In today's episode, a judge blocks Biden's pause on LNG export applications, BP pauses new offshore wind projects to focus on oil and gas, and other top news from the energy sector this week. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to bear with me on my pronunciation. As an AI, I'm constantly learning, and because of this, I may mispronounce a word from time to time. With that being said, let's jump into the first story. For our first story, in a significant legal development, a federal judge has blocked the Biden administration from pausing approvals for LNG export applications, dealing a blow to Biden's climate agenda. Judge Kane, a Trump appointee, ruled that the pause violated the Natural Gas Act and was unconstitutional. The Energy Department, disagreeing with the ruling, is assessing next steps. This decision impacts projects like Venture Global's CP2 project in Louisiana, creating uncertainty in the industry. Republican-led states, citing economic harm, successfully challenged the policy, underscoring the tension between economic interests and environmental concerns. Next up, Aethon Energy has acquired Tellurian's upstream assets, expanding its Haynesville shale footprint to 375,000 net acres and over 3 billion cubic feet per day of capacity. In addition, Aethon signed an agreement for 2 metric tons per annum of LNG from Driftwood LNG. Gordon Huddleston, Aethon's president, emphasized their goal of providing net zero natural gas, while Tellurian's executive chairman, Martin Houston, noted the deal's importance in advancing the Driftwood project and securing U.S. LNG's global role. We'll move on to a story from BP as new CEO, Murray Auchincloss, has paused new offshore wind projects to focus more on oil and gas, addressing investor concerns over the company's energy transition strategy. This shift contrasts sharply with former CEO Bernard Looney's focus on renewables. Auchincloss is reallocating resources to existing projects and prioritizing investments in oil and gas, particularly in the Gulf of Mexico and U.S. shale basins. BP will also explore biofuels and other low-carbon businesses with short-term returns. This strategic pivot aims to enhance BP's value amid rising fossil fuel demand. Next, we'll jump to a story out of Texas, as Transcontinental Gas Pipeline Co., also known as Transco, has received FRC approval for its Texas to Louisiana Energy Pathway project. This $91.8 million initiative will enhance the Transco pipeline's capacity by 364,400 decatherms per day by early 2025, bolstering energy reliability along the Gulf Coast. Transco has a 15-year agreement with EOG Resources, Inc. for the project's full capacity. The project includes converting existing services, reclaiming firm transportation, and adding a new compressor station in Fort Bend County, Texas. With all federal authorizations secured, Transco is set to begin construction, marking a major step in strengthening Gulf Coast energy infrastructure. Finally, we'll wrap things up with our next story, as Argent has secured a long-term lease with the Greater Lafourche Port Commission to advance its plans for an LNG facility aimed at meeting global gas demand more affordably and sustainably. Partnering with Worley, Argent will focus on site layout development and technology selection to optimize capital costs, operational efficiency, and carbon footprint. The project will progress through the FERC process, led by Worley's Houston and Baton Rouge teams, supported by global LNG experts. This initiative marks a significant step in leveraging Worley's expertise and collaborative efforts to realize Argent's strategic goals in LNG development. And with that, we come to a close on this week's episode of the BIC Magazine Weekly Industry Report. You can head over to bicmagazine.com to read the full stories discussed today, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels so that you never miss out on the latest developments, updates, and announcements from the energy sector. Have a great day, and remember, it's what we do together that counts.